second thing, he says that whenever you find that you are the smartest person in the room, change the room. You should be the poorest person in that room. Yeah. So, could you please introduce yourself, who Shantha is, and what is her journey?
So you already know my name is Shantha. I am working as a spoken English trainer. So it's been around 5 or 6 months that I've started training for spoken English. But according to my educational qualification, I am an engineer. I did my computer science engineering 15 years ago. So after my campus interview, I was placed in a MNC and I worked for 2 years as a software engineer. So due to relocation, I had to quit my job and now I'm giving myself a second chance to grow professionally. So I just shifted my profession. I started training for spoken English, mainly because I can do it as a freelancer and I don't have to step out of home for it. So, yeah, and I live in Karnataka. So there is a small town called Raichur. So I live here with my family, my husband, and 2 kids. So I'm a full-time homemaker as well. And I am running a YouTube channel, which is English with Shantha. So it's been 3 months that I've started my YouTube channel. Basically, I upload spoken English content, conversations, tips and tricks, pronunciations, etc. Everything related to spoken English. And I'm meeting a lot of people and I'm loving interacting with people. So that's my YouTube journey. So that's basically me.
Wow, so you were earlier were an engineer. The same story. I also was working in IT company, but then I realized that okay, I want to do something else as well. So I tried this route, communication thing, and I took some workshops and some courses on that, and I really enjoying this thing, like
Thank you.
interacting with people. So basically, I'm not doing the English thing, but I am educating them on communication, the role of communication in the workplace. So
Mm,
you are an engineer, you know that we have lots of meetings and Scrum meetings especially,
yeah.
and we don't. When at first we do not speak up what exactly is going on, we do not do any input, we not give any input to the project, and we just
Mm.
like okay, at the end of month I want my salary and that's it. So I educate people beyond that, like do not just think about the salary. How can you give yourself? How can you give more to the project? So regarding that.
So,
Anyway,
along with this communication, you are also working as an engineer now?
yes. So in November, I left my job, but right now I'm also again looking for jobs. So maybe in just 10 or 10 days, I'll just back in IT. But I wanted to take this time off to prioritize my thing, to think about what exactly I want to do in my life, in my career, and etc. So I would say the mini retirement kind of thing.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so one thing that I was listening to your videos, and the thing that I liked about that, you worked in Australia as well. And I have this deep desire in me that I want to visit Australia once. It might be that my first project, I worked first with Australian people, and I really like them. So, how was
Mm.
your experience with that in Australia, especially?
Experience in Australia, very good. Because you do not find a lot of native speakers. Basically, what they say about Australia is usually, like, back in the days, the prisoners were left in Australia because it was an island, it was surrounded with water. And that is how, like, people of various cultures and backgrounds from different countries, they were left in Australia. They were basically prisoners. So you can find a combination of all kind of people living in Australia from different
Okay.
parts of the world, you would say. And native Australians are very few, and you will find it hard to even identify native Australians. So, according to
Oh,
my experience and what I know about, so you will find people from all over the world. It is like it's very nice. So the workplace where I worked, it was basically owned by Turkish people. So I got to interact a lot with people from Turkey and Lebanon. There are a lot of
oh,
people there from these countries, and yeah, and people are very friendly. It's very
okay. And
good.
what
The
place were
only
you
thing
in?
that, yeah, I lived in Melbourne. So if
Okay.
you know about the weather of Melbourne, it's very unpredictable. So you will find multiple seasons on the same day. So it's raining,
Okay.
it's chill, and maybe later it might become warm, but warm and hot, not very usual. Rain and winter, too much.
I heard about that place where at one side there is a sea and at another side is mountain. I think in
Yeah.
Melbourne only, right?
Not Melbourne. It is called as Great Ocean Road. So you just
Okay.
drive by the ocean and this side is the mountain. So they say that for people who know driving, so it is bliss. It is heaven for them. You will love
Oh,
driving
yeah.
on that road. So we have been on that road twice. So it
Hmm.
is very nice, very beautiful. If you go there, it is must visit. Great Ocean Road.
Yeah, it's in my to-do list. When I will go to Australia, I'll visit that road once.
Yes, and it is like, just the banks of river here and the road is here. You can hop on whenever you want. You can get out of your car, enjoy the water, then get back in. It's very beautiful.
Right, right. Well, so I was also listening to your story, how your English journey started and what was your, since you were in English medium school, so that was not much of struggle. But the role of your dad, I really appreciate that. So what was that story?
Yeah, there are so many people who have studied in English medium schools, still they find communication difficult now. Because mainly teachers, yes, they put in their effort, but the equal effort has to be from our side as well in order to learn
Mm,
the language. Okay, just
correct.
if the teachers are in front, they talk in English and they try to behave like that. Okay, but behind their backs, they continue with the native language. Maybe at that age, you don't realize how important it is and why they are telling you to do this, talk in English. Okay, but it was like very early in the 90s and it was not that important also. But
Mhm.
yeah, thanks to my dad who worked on us even at home. So I would say, like, a greater part of my journey, involves my dad rather than my school. They did their part, but after coming home, my dad did his part as well. So he would always encourage us to talk in English, behave properly, talk to people, address people nicely, and approach strangers randomly, and just to get out of the hesitation of talking to strangers and talk only in English. That is what he would always suggest us. So yeah,
Right.
the details
Right.
are
So
in my
many,
video, the same
so
thing.
many people complain about that they don't have anybody to speak. But the story that I was listening, you said that your dad encouraged you to talk in telephone, and even though he is sitting beside you, then he asked you to pick up the phone and talk. So that
Mm.
was really good, and I think everyone should do to their kid like this only.
Yes, yes. I've shared this with this main intention that people can get ideas how to involve their children in this like English journey, and not only English, it also involves developing your personality on a whole, like how to improve
Right.
yourself, how to improve your communication skills, which is very important once you leave the house. When once you
Hmm.
grow older and get into the world of like earning money, so it is very important that you know how to talk, how to communicate. So even that part, he really focused very nicely on us. It was very stressful for us back then because we didn't understand why he was doing this. Because my friends were very casual, their life was not so serious about preparing themselves for the future. So I would always feel bad about it at that time. But it is like it feels I'm quite surprised now at this stage of my life that
Right.
after getting into this field of training, I'm quite surprised how people are not able to communicate and speak fluently. So
Right.
yeah, this is some discovery I made recently. So that is the reason I
And
thought of, sharing my video so that people can see and maybe even teach their children also.
right, right. And what was the discipline part that he um, asked you to do certain things in certain way, like the habits or the way that you should sit, that way you should greet, the way you should stand. So what was that story?
Yeah, he would like, maintain proper body posture,
Okay.
and when you fight with your siblings also, you shouldn't like be anything physical
Oh,
or, don't be too close to somebody. uh, I can't exactly put it into words, but be disciplined. Wake up at the same time. Waking up early was very. He would stress on it a lot. Wake up early. So even when he travel somewhere, so he would give us a call at 6 o'clock or 5:30, whatever time it is, just to check if we are awake or no. And when we woke up, and he would definitely make out when we pick the call like whether we have just woken up or it's been quite some time that we have woken up. So he would ensure
oh,
that he would call up. And sometimes it happens that phone is ringing, then we wake up suddenly and we just make ourselves prepare ourselves and receive the call. Our tone has to be proper. Because when you wake up,
Oh,
your tone is not right. Like the way you
right,
speak is
right.
different. He would always identify it. Well, I'm not in town and you did not wake up at this time today. So that is how particular and strict he was.
Oh, oh. Do you remember any interesting or memorable event that you think that, okay, this is something is like, oh my God.
No, like all these little moments just add up, you know. Yeah, waking up late,
Uh-huh.
and he would scrutinize that. Even though he was away, he was always about family, kids. I have to mentor them properly, and I have to be strict with them and discipline them
Okay.
properly so that it, incorporates into their life. You do it for
Hmm.
some days, you forget it, but the things that you do every day will stay with you throughout your life for a longer period of time. So that is the
Right,
reason he
right.
was so strict.
Right, right. So was he in any kind of military background or like from where from where it came from?
Oh no, no. Though I always say that our house is like a military
Uh-huh.
canteen or a army room, but no, he was a normal. He was into sales and marketing,
Okay, okay. Yeah,
but
but
just in the makeup of
he
that
knew
of a
the
military.
power of discipline and all these things because right now I'm also learning these things and actually this is the base foundation. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
good that you got early in childhood that thing.
Mm,
Okay, so one more thing that I read about that writing part. So you
yeah.
love poetry. So do you remember any poetry that you have written earlier those days?
No, no, I'm sorry to say, but you know, the interesting part is when he would travel, even at that time, he would travel a lot for work. He would be like
Mm-hmm.
3 months, 6 months away from us, and he would share his experiences, what happened with him in the train during travel, anything memorable, because he had so much experience traveling. He would have a lot of stories to tell us what
Right.
happened. So what he faced during the travel, I would write it down for my college magazine.
Hmm. Oh,
Mm.
wow.
So yeah, so those incidents I remember, his travel incidents, there are quite a few of them. But the poems, no, I
So do
don't.
you don't write now? Or do you
No.
actually write anything right now or not?
Right now, I'm not writing anything. No, except, when I feel low, very low, I truly believe that you have to write it down. When you're like, feeling very
Hmm.
low and upset, you have to write it down. And, it is magical. I want everybody to do this practice. When you write something, you truly get out of it. Maybe in a hour or two, once you've finished writing it, you will no longer be crying for that issue. For a long period
Correct.
of time, you will feel relieved about that issue. I don't know what it is about, but I want everybody to practice this. At least try it once for yourself and see
Right.
this really works.
Right, it's called brain dump. And
Mm.
whenever like lots of things in our mind and we want to get it out from mind. So two things that we can do. One, either we can say it out, but we cannot find everyone to like every time we cannot find anyone to say that thing out. So it's better to write it down and it literally clears everything, whatever in our mind, and that's this
True.
process is called brain dump. So i
Brain
i
dump. Yeah.
actually do every morning whenever I wake up, and after wake up I do the brain dump so that I got the clarity what I want to do. Or so basically brain dump plus planning, I do both the things together. So whatever I have in my mind I just write it down and then plan for my entire day that okay, I want to do this, then do this, and it does
Mm.
really help.
And for the part of sharing it physically with somebody, I would say that, you may not be expecting what they are going to tell or their
Hmm.
reaction. And that
Right.
might, further pull you down or make you feel low because you might not be expecting that they would tell this to you or
Correct.
react in this way. So again, you feel like, no, this is not, satisfactory to me or this is not making me relaxed. So I would say, right,
Right.
you can be your best friend, right? And forget.
Yeah, that is actually correct point that we do not know what the reaction there would be. So it might happen
Mhm.
that we are doing good to ourselves, but it might oppose it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. They might criticize, If you're open to
correct, correct.
criticism, go ahead and share. But if not, it's better to write.
Yeah, but not every time we are open to criticism. One more thing.
Yeah,
Correct,
true.
correct.
Yeah.
Right. And I want to know, so you read books, right?
Yeah, I used to read books before YouTube.
Okay, so like self-help or fiction, non-fiction, what kind of genre do you read?
I usually read fiction, and I'm also into nutrition and health. So I read,
Oh,
I read Dr. B.M. Hegde's books. I don't know if you've heard about him. So
no.
he's
Actually,
from Karnataka.
I need a nutrition thing. So, name is Doctor
B.M. Hegde.
B.M. Hegde. Okay.
Hegde. Hegde. Hegde.
Okay. So, do you know the name of the book?
Yes. What doctors do not learn in medical school. Something like this.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
If
Okay. I'll
you,
check it out.
yeah, yeah. What doctors do not learn in medical school. So he's a old school doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there might be several controversies. What he says is true or no, but it is just nice to expand your knowledge by reading, and we can be our own
Hmm.
selves. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you like if could you please tell any book's name that I think everyone should read, or what is your favorite
Everyone should
book,
read.
maybe?
I read only novels and storybooks. I want that there should be a story in the book. Okay, so but for people, usually when people ask for recommendations, it has to be self-help or which will help them grow in some way. But I think one book which has been recommended to me, and I haven't read it so far, but they say that once in your life, if you have to read only one book in your life, you have to read this book, which is Think and Grow Rich. Have you
Yes.
read that book?
Yes, yes, I have read that.
Okay, do you have the
Then,
same views? I would love to know.
yes, read that. I mean, it is so amazing and it will introduce you to so many concepts. That is one, definitely that writing part. Second, the importance of mastermind group. Uh, so that thing actually, the role of mentor and the mastermind group, actually these two things have changed my life entirely. Earlier, what we used to do, we used to speak to people whom we like, or where we feel that, okay, I'm the smartest person in this group. And we tend to spend our time there. But he gave the one thing that you are the average of five people. So, one exercise that he gave, yeah, so you are the average of five people. And if you want to compare your salary, just look out your five people to whom you are surrounded with and then do the average. Literally you will get the salary of yours that these guys have earning. Okay, second thing,
Okay.
he says that whenever you find that you are the smartest person in the room, change the room. You should be the poorest person in that room.
Wow.
Yeah, and the
So
third thing is
nice.
the role of mentor. That is, earlier I was thinking that, okay, mentor is all about taking the money and then exchange the information in terms of money. But if we
Mm.
look at that this way, that they are actually giving the experience of whatever they have learned in decades. Okay, they are giving us the information in just few months. So we are
Mm.
not just buying the information, we are buying the time. We are just buying those 10 years in just few months.
Wow.
And the mistake that they have made, we are not going to make the same mistake.
Mm.
So that's the thing. So the role of mentor and the mastermind group, actually these two things have changed. And then again, the law of attraction also it suggests. But yeah, I mean, if you just find time, read that book. Maybe one page a day, but start reading that book. I'm also rereading that book. But yes, this is really a great book.
Oh, definitely. I will.
So any fiction book that you will suggest to read, because I'm a very non-fiction reader and self-help thing, but I have
Okay.
never read fiction apart from The Alchemist. But again, it comes under self-help umbrella.
Mm.
So what
Mm.
fiction book would you suggest to me at least? I'm a avid book reader as well.
Okay. I would suggest this thing, The Girl in Room 105. Have you read that
Oh,
book?
no, no.
It's by Chetan Bhagat, The Girl in Room
Okay,
105.
okay,
Hmm. Yeah. And
okay. I'll
yeah. Yeah.
is it like what exactly is it is about? I mean, don't give me the suspense or
Summary.
whatever, but yeah, in just
It
one
is,
line, if
it
you
is,
would suggest.
yeah, it is. It has all aspects. It's not the routine Chetan Bhagat where you find romance, only romance throughout the novel. It is about love. It's about unloving somebody. It's
Oh,
about crime, murder. So suspense is a lot of
okay,
aspects. You should read it.
okay. I'll give it a try then. Okay, so again, one more thing about the book as well. So, what book would you give to someone?
It depends on the person's taste. If I know the person,
Mm-hmm.
so if it is my daughter, I would give her some storybooks for her birthday. That is what I do usually. So if it is my friend, definitely if that person is my friend, I will know what genre he is interested or she is interested in. So I will
Okay.
find his choice and then gift it to him. If they like self-help books, something like The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, maybe.
Yeah, that is again good book.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
If they're like
right.
fiction, so they are like me, so I would try and find the best books possible and gift it.
Okay, great. And what about the podcast? You have said in one of the videos that you love listening to the podcast. So, what kind of podcast do you listen, or is there anyone whom you like adore much and would love to listen to his or her podcast? So, would you suggest some?
Yes, yes. I like listening to, I'm sorry, please correct me. The Diaries of a CEO. Is there a
Oh,
podcast like that?
yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
the Diary of CEO, huh?
yeah. I love that, because it is by native speaker also, it will help you with your English also. And it's very informative. So
Wow.
you can listen to those podcasts. And I like listening to TRS clips.
Mm-hmm.
Ranveer Alabadia, because there is a lot of categories involved. You can get a
Right.
knowledge about different things, and his English is also very good. You will get
Hmm.
new words for your vocabulary as well. So these kind
Correct.
of podcasts I listen to for a long time. But then there are reels and shorts, so you have different podcasts even there. So, but these two I follow.
Okay, okay. So there is one more. Start listening if you want to listen.
Yeah,
This Tim
definitely.
Ferriss and Joe Rogan.
Okay. Come
So
again,
Joe
please.
Rogan, the Tim Ferriss show
Okay.
and the Joe Rogan Experience.
Okay.
These two are like the very beginner in the podcast world. So Tim Ferriss is doing podcasts since 2013, and
Okay.
Joe Rogan as well. He was earlier a comedian turned into podcaster. Now he's the best in the world.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah, so
wasn't
just
aware
start.
of this. Thank you.
Yeah, so Tim Ferriss is based on the like everyday like Ranveer Lahbadia do. So Tim Ferriss do that kind of stuff, but Joe Rogan is like a free flow conversation. And
Okay.
if you are into like self-help thing, or if you want to understand more, there is one episode of Joe Rogan with Naval Ravikant.
Okay.
Just listen to this episode only. I mean, you will get so many life nuggets and you will get so many life things. Um, I mean, I cannot
Mm.
say much about that episode. That is like literally a gem.
Yes, yes, yeah. Yeah, no, rather than reading books, even this is going to give you the equal knowledge, but it is going to be more entertaining, I would say, rather than,
Yes,
reading books. Yeah.
correct, correct. Just plug in and then go for a
Yeah.
walk.
Yeah.
Amazing experience.
Yes, yes. I do it all the time. Plug in and I walk or I cook or do whatever. I need something to listen to.
Oh, yeah. Right,
Mm.
right. Long walk is something that actually I started doing in 2024. Earlier, I was not doing, but now I actually just booked 1 hour for walk only, and then I just plugged in and then go for a walk. So
You
this
do you go
again,
outside or you walk on your treadmill?
no, no treadmill outside.
Outside, yeah. The best
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
correct. Yes, nature.
I just want some tips from you, like how did you grow like through the career? So if you don't want to put this in the video, it's fine. But
Okay,
I
yes,
just
yes.
want to know it like personally, what did you do and what workshops did you attend to grow yourself professionally like this, to be a coach of communication?
Yeah, so actually, what happened? I was in 2019 or 2018. Okay, so at that time, I was just starting my career in software engineering. But at that time, I got the role of automation engineer. Even though I
Okay.
tried for software developer, but ended up getting the automation engineer role. And at that
Okay.
time, I was very disappointed with that role. I was because there was nobody who will guide me. So.
Mm.
I was very unhappy, and then I started looking for things. And the first thing that you search on Google when you are unhappy, that I don't like this job. What should I do? What are the alternate careers? So I started searching about that, and
Mm.
then I don't know. Somehow I land up with the things. This podcast and the Tim Ferriss show. Actually, the first thing that I got is Tim Ferriss show, and the book he has written. That is the 4 Hour Work Week. And when
Okay.
I read that book, 4 Hour Work Week, it is all about quit 9 to 5 and live the life you want.
Okay.
So yes, so I when I read that book, I literally learned about automation and the life that we are living. How should we live our life? How what kind of work should we do? Because most people, if we want to, if we ask the question to them, like, what do you want to do? What do you want to achieve in your life? Why are you earning? The only statement that they say that I want to be financially free. But
Mm.
then, if you ask further, what do you mean by financially free? That they say that just get the money and do nothing. But do nothing is not the answer. Financially free is something that do what you want, do with whom you want, and where you
Mm.
want, and whenever you want. So that is the answer to financial freedom. In job, we don't have any location freedom. We don't have any person freedom. I mean, we cannot choose the person to whom we want, work we
Yeah.
want, and
Mm.
where we want, we do not choose. What we want, we actually don't get what we want. We almost end up doing the work that we do not want. So
Mm.
I don't know, but at that after reading that book, I started getting the idea what this thing is going on. I mean, whatever we have told that okay, the money is the happiness, at the end of money, at the end of month you will get money and it will bring the smile on your face. But then I also got introduced to Joe Rogan, and the episode that I have told you, uh,
Mm.
this Joe Rogan with Naval Ravikant. And at that
Mm.
episode, Naval Ravikant said that three addiction the three addiction the human has. One is the heroin, second is, I think, that again drugs, and third is monthly salary.
Oh.
And that thing actually the same response I got. And then I also started thinking, okay, this is all just illusion. And
Mm.
then I got introduced to self-help, and I literally started reading things, and the book actually plays a very important role in my life. So does podcast. And that's why
Mm.
I said that listen to Tim Ferriss and Joe Rogan. These two guys are literally, I don't know, the bundle of information that these two guys has. So, and then, yeah, so at that time only I read that Think and Grow Rich as well. And then I started looking for mastermind, mentor. And my English was literally not good. My English was horrible because I studied in Hindi medium. And till
Oh.
12th, my whole education was in Hindi medium. But in my mind, I wanted to speak English, but not English. I wanted to communicate like so that people want to listen to me, and I want
Okay.
to communicate like in a persuasive thing that when I speak,
Mm.
people just want to listen. And when I listen, they actually listen that and try to implement that in their life. So I want to speak in such a way to stress particular word, and then tonality changes. So I don't know, I just
Mm.
wanted to speak like that, but
Voice
how, I don't know.
modulation.
All the
Mm.
things. So then somewhere I got introduced to Toastmaster, and I joined the Toastmaster club. I was there in like for 1 year, I think.
Okay. Mm.
Yeah, so I joined that club. I literally learned a lot. I will not
Mm.
say that my English become good there, but I got that confidence to speak in front of people, and how to structure speech, how to give speech, how to talk to people, how to give impromptu speech, because they have that thing like 3 hour, 2 hour meeting, and then they have two parts. One is prepared speech, and second is impromptu speech, that they will just give you a topic and speak there for 2 minutes. And there was time limit. If you spoke for 1 minute, you are disqualified, and if you
Oh.
spoke for 2.5 minutes, you are also disqualified. So you have to put and complete your speech in just 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes. So that was the time constraint there. And if you are preparing speech, the prepared speech should as well between 5 to 7 minutes. So that kind of time limit there. So you have to complete your speech like introduction, body, and conclusion, whole thing in 7 minutes. And based on that, they will judge your speech and they will choose the winner as well. Who is the winner? And then
Mm.
they will give the certification. So yeah, Toastmaster as well helped me, and then I started participating in this meetings. I mean, at that time, the whole mindset got changed, because earlier I was not asking question in meetings, but then after doing all these things, I became very active in all the meetings that was happening in company, all the groomings, retrospectives, and I started learning about product as well, how business is doing, how my company is making business, who are their competitors, and then I
Mm,
started learning about these things. So I think, yeah, so these all things added up. And the podcast is the one thing that I was very consistent. So I was listening to podcast daily while going to office, while coming back. I always listening to a
mm,
podcast. So I think
mm,
all these things, and yeah, journaling also helped me. I was trying to find the method, like what method should I use for journaling? And
mm.
actually, in this, 4 to 5 days back, I finally found my journaling method. And I actually started, I think, have posted one post about Kaizen 87 challenge that I am doing for 87 days.
Yes.
And I figured out one journaling prompt that I am using. And if you want, I
Okay.
can attach that journal PDF in my this description. You can download that and start using that prompt. So it will really
Okay.
help you in figuring out your day and what you are doing in your day. So yeah,
Mm.
that was the prompt that I think I cannot find anywhere. So I designed for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the one thing that I like in that is like I have divided all the things. If I have that, I don't know I have that or not. So what I did, I just divided my time 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. Okay, so in 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, and after 1 hour or like 2 hour block, I just put in that block what I did in that particular hour. So
Oh,
it gives the exactly what I'm doing with my time, and then if I'm doing any non-productive work, I try to avoid that.
wow. Nice way to keep
So
track.
yeah, so I was not getting anywhere, so I designed for that, and it literally helped me move on.
Okay. Yeah. Very
So yeah,
nice.
that's all my journey about the communication. And yeah, so I also attended some clapping go session, but uh, I mean, I will not say that there was help. They were like a great help for me, but I think I was not getting much help with that because what I was looking in communication, what I was not getting there. Because if people want to learn English, that definitely go with clapping go. But if you want to enhance your communication, I think the Toastmaster is the solution for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Good to know.
Yeah, so this was like my sweet little story.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay, it was really nice talking to you. I mean, I would love to talk to you again in future.
Yes, definitely. I had a very nice time talking to you. Thank you so
Same
much.
here. Thank you for coming to my podcast.